Hello my loves, I am coming to you with a very different post today. I've received very clear guidance from Source that it is time to share a letter that I wrote to myself in postpartum. And I feel that this is going to be very healing for letting go of what was my story, my birth and my experience with Asha as I move into this new conception journey and birthing my new baby, the new soul that is waiting to come through. So I read this letter about a year, I think it was about a year ago. I recorded it and I was going to share it, but it just didn't feel right. And I'm so glad I didn't, because now is definitely the time. So yeah, here we go. I haven't read this letter. I think I've read it twice since having Asha. Asha's almost 3, he's 3 in August. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel as I share this, but here we go. Dear Cass, you have come so far and you have so much to be proud of. I know your birth was not how you imagined it, but it was exactly what you needed for your initiation into motherhood. The beauty has always been in the mess, the rawness, the bigness, the whole experience, feeling it all. If you had any idea of what you might go through, you would have given up before you'd even started. Birth was the ultimate rebirth for you. In the years leading up to falling pregnant, your mama fell very sick with the dreaded C. Cancer is not in your family, so it came as such a shock. She was so fit and healthy. Well, so you thought. But when you reflect now, you know she only nurtured her physical body and neglected the rest. The cancer manifested in the heart and throat space. Now all of your healing makes sense. You are here to clear your ancestral wounds. You are the star seed here to create change. Your work has not gone unnoticed. Whew. You saw your mum's beautiful, strong body and spirit slowly fade. In and out of hospital, you saw her lose her power in the system, and you knew as soon as that very first doctor said the word cancer, you lost her. She followed everything suggested in this dismissed her own knowing and her own power to heal. This is something you believe strongly, but you're not here to teach those that are not ready to listen. The fit, healthy, strong woman you once knew as your mama faded into a frail, weak old lady. She was defeated in the end and gave up. She couldn't possibly go on with no voice, not being able to swallow, and absolutely no dignity. Her decision to die was the bravest thing she ever did, and you will always remember that. She died in the early hours of May 26th on the blood moon and eclipse. You were 30 weeks pregnant, and it was by far the toughest time of your life, but you felt at peace because she was now at peace. It was important for you to stay connected to your spiritual body to understand why she had to go. Her soul contract was up, and it was her time to take the lessons into her new revolution. She's with you every single day, Cass. She is your guiding angel and quite possibly taken a new form. She planned all of this. You falling pregnant so easily just before her passing was no coincidence. Your beautiful boy Asha, born 2 days after her birthday, was no fluke timing. Your mum knew you were planning and at her birth, she wasn't happy about it. One of the last things she said to you in hospital was, "How will you handle the pain?" This made you even more determined. You wanted a magical, transformative home birth because you certainly didn't want to be in the hospital where you saw your mum so sick and eventually pass over to the other side. You felt so much anger towards the medical system, hospitals, doctors, nurses, and mainstream medicine. You associated hospitals with sickness and death, and definitely did not want a normal birth. Your intention for birth was to be in your true feminine power by birthing naturally as the woman you were born to be. It was a beautiful journey you embarked on. You did the work you needed to do to feel empowered through your pregnancy, birth, and beyond. You recruited midwives, a doula, and only listened to positive birth stories. You healed past wounds, ancestral wounds, and anything that was blocking you from your beautiful, transformative home birth. The weeks leading up to your birth were by far the toughest. You needed this beautiful new energy earthside so you could feel joy and light again. On your mother's birthday, the 17th of August, you had a checkup with your midwife. You had hit 40 weeks and 4 days and were done with this pregnancy. You had an emotional morning before your midwife arrived at 10 a.m. She checked your blood pressure as always, and it was very high. She was worried, but thought maybe it had something to do with the significance of the day, so tried twice more, but it was escalating. She apologised and said you needed to go to Tweed Hospital for more testing. She warned you that things might get crazy from here on in, so pack your bags and be prepared that you're going to have a baby. You were in total shock. This was not a part of the plan. The results showed preeclampsia, which could have serious harm on you and the bubba, so induction was decided. This scared the shit out of you because you knew it would lead to more intervention. Your beautiful doula helped clear what needed to be cleared around all of this with energy work. At 3 p.m. it all began. 3 people tried and failed to insert balloons either side of your cervix to soften and break your waters. It was painful and invasive. You breathed through it with tears rolling down your face. One doctor finally got it up there with a lot of persistence and terrible bedside manner. Now your mind was in overdrive. You felt exposed, stressed, and terrified. You questioned how you would ever dilate with the scar tissue that they kept reminding you of. You hardly slept that night because of the back pain that felt like waves of contractions, but your water didn't break. The same doctor had been called to break the waters early the following morning because no one else could get past the scar tissue and tightness. Ding, ding, ding. Mine was still ticking. Tight, unsuccessful attempt for water to break and scar tissue. You thought you'd already failed. You were hooked up to a heart monitor, had a drip of synthetic hormones being pumped into you and getting regular blood pressure and temperature checks. There was no way you could relax in this environment. But you persisted with no drugs for 6 painful hours. You really gave it all you had. You experienced the most horrific back pain while Asher made his way down the birth canal. The pain was like nothing you've ever felt before, and your minimal rest in between contractions gave you no chance to recover. You sobbed, screamed, grunted, and eventually demanded something to help. You asked for water shots and, F me, did they hurt to insert. 2 midwives and 4 needles stabbing into the lower back like knives. Yes, it worked for a short amount of time. After an hour, it wore off. They say that birth can feel like you're dying because in fact, that is exactly what is happening. Old parts of you that are no longer going to serve the new version of you die. You rebirth into the mother. You tried all hypnobirthing breathing techniques, called on your angels and mum for support and protection, ramped up the TENS machine, showered, peed, pooped, and tried to spew many times, but your body just wasn't ready. And it was being forced into labour, so you needed more. Yep, you tried the gas and did absolutely nothing but annoy you, so finally you screamed for an epidural. You felt so deflated and defeated, like you'd lost the beauty of birth. You looked at Jordan and said, I'm so sorry. Know that you hadn't failed, Cass. This was your birth journey that you needed for your growth in this human experience. You needed the bigness and the intensity of this birth to crack you open even further than you'd ever been before. The pain relief could not come quick enough. You screamed and demanded for them to hurry the fuck up. Sorry. You even went back for more of those water shots. No one ever goes back for more. Know that you are one tough cookie. You are strong and so resilient, but you were done, you were exhausted, and you needed to rest. It wasn't just the birth. Life had exhausted you. The pressure you had put on yourself for the perfect natural home birth was exhausting. When the pain relief finally kicked in after 30 long minutes, you could breathe again. You could rest, but unfortunately your mind could not. It was too far gone, and at this point you almost gave up completely on the vaginal birth and opted for a C-section. You asked all the questions and convinced yourself that this was the best decision because you were choosing it before it could possibly become an emergency C-section. You had been in hospital for 31 hours and you were done. All the why me's kicked in. Why did you lose your mother? Why did the virus lock down the northern rivers at this time? Why couldn't your doula be present? Why couldn't your family be there? Why does this shit always happen to me? The old stories had surfaced, and as much as your kinesiologist was trying to clear all of this old energy from afar, it just all felt too much. The drugs had taken a toll on your being, and then your mama stepped in. She gifted you with a beautiful student midwife who shifted everything. She whispered in your ear that you can do this and you will do this. She said she was going to do everything in her power to get you back, to break down those walls that you had put up to protect yourself. She made you recite some beautiful affirmations. She massaged you and pressed on release pressure points. Her presence was so grounded and powerful. After many hours in the same hospital bed, your body was giving in. You had uncontrollable shakes. You cried and screamed for it all to be over soon, so the team decided to give you more time to rest and dilate. At around 2:30 a.m., the nurse did the final internal examination. You were finally 10 centimeters dilated. You woke Jordan, who slept on the bed next to you, and said, "We're having a baby." Asher was now in a little distress and you needed antibiotics for a fever, but this was really happening. Lying on your back, legs in the air, it all felt so wrong. You asked if you could go on all fours, but because of the drugs, it was too hard. You could feel the contractions, but asked for confirmation each time to ensure you were pushing at the correct time. The doctor came and it felt like every intervention you were against was thrown at you. It's like you kept getting thrown from your power center and you had to make quick decisions. It was a firm no to the cutting. You wanted to rip naturally and allow your body to heal that way. Yes to checking Ash's heart rate, and it was a scream of you will push him out now to avoid too much suction. You were on this ride with Asher and together you got there. Finally, at 4:28 a.m., your angel was born. They put him straight on your chest, but he needed help to breathe, so was quickly taken away. What a scary time. Watching them trying to get his breath to regulate, but Asher was in control. He held onto the breathing machine with a strong grip. What a powerful boy he is. The hours that followed were pure bliss. He was here. Seeing Jordan in awe of this baby boy made your heart sing. You now have a beautiful family of 3. How very lucky you are. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, thank you for letting me share that. And yeah, there were moments in there that I had completely blocked out. So it was nice to relive that. And I really hope that helps some of you also heal from your birth and to reflect on it and see the beauty in possibly the chaos as well. Anyway, that is all from me. I'm gonna go shed some more tears. Chat later, my loves.